Grand final time, everybody! Washed up against Granit Gaming once again. Seems like these two teams are actually meeting up against each other quite a lot. And once again, we have another HeroesHype Grand Final where the two battle each other for the title. To the left, HasuObs on Leoric for Washed Up. We have Banana H on Malfurion, Mene on Alarak, Nick on ETC, and Pepega playing Sylvanas, aka Chris. On the right side of the map, Laub on Malganis, DAB subbing in today on Liming, Svamgarotta on Arthas, Fury on Thrall, and Tai on Lucio. So both of the teams, again, with slightly different lineups than what we are seeing in Division S. First of all, Henning couldn't make it for the tournament, so DAB is subbing in for Granit Gaming, which also means that Tai is on the support. And we have a kill against Sylvanas immediately, just as the game starts, and maybe even a second one, but Hasu gets away. So on the other side, we're still seeing Chris, and wow, they actually get the double kill. Yeah, Granit Gaming opening up the game with an absolute bang here, dropping 2 heroes in just no time. Nicely done. I mean, with this, looking pretty fantastic right now. We're having Echo of Elements taken, the quick rotation thanks to Lucio, obviously helping out too. And it's an interesting setup either way. I mean, you have a player subbing in, and that is someone from the caliber of DAB, so he is absolutely amazing on those backline damage dealers. And that forced Tai into the support role, and we actually have seen a couple of games now from Tai on the support, and he's played 3 different ones now, including Lucio, and I gotta say, he is actually doing pretty well in that role. It's pretty amazing to me, considering that the entire time this season, or this entire year, we've seen him with a huge focus onto the damage dealers with, I mean, Liming, Orphea, Tracer, you name it, Greymane, and a couple of others as well. So he's pretty versatile in the way that he's playing through all of this. But again, in this first game of the best of 3 series, our grand final, we're having already a bit of action going on, and Washed Up in Granit Gaming still fighting for ground here. There's a slight lead, obviously, for Granit, thanks to the fact that they got those 2 early kills, but they can't really do a whole lot about it because it was super early in the game, so it's not like they could move in and take the pumpkin camp away or something like that. Svamgarotta is actually here in pretty much a main tank position nearly for the team, or well, together with at least Malganis, because we're having Thrall on the offlane. Lauba and Svamgarotta are both low. But it's always kind of cool to see Arthas back. This is one of the nice things actually with the reappearance of Greymane in the meta that we've already seen occasionally, that teams are every now and then picking into Arthas because they try to get the attack speed reduction. Against Greymane in particular, but others as well. So depending on the map, Arthas is all of a sudden again an option. And it actually shows that even heroes that themselves don't really get changed or addressed a lot during a patch can make it back into the meta, just simply because other heroes that they are really strong against have been buffed a little bit and make a reappearance there. So the triple altar phase starts us off. We're having also, in terms of talents, still the Mana Tide on level 4 for Thrall now that he went into the Echo of Elements build. No Frostwolf pack this time. Mane is still going into the negatively charged with Alarak. Has to be careful here, but dodges out on the Howling Blast, and that was important. That could have been a bit of damage against him. Not necessarily by Svamgarotta, but the rest of the team is obviously rotating down now too, and that's exactly where this rotation would have caught them pretty heavily. Already the channel at the top left, top right, and shots are exchanged as we have Svamgarotta with an attempt to go for altar number 3, and Washed Up is letting it go. Washed Up is sitting there saying like, alright, not gonna fight for this one, not really in a position to do anything about this. But we're having now also Fury at the top lane, still dealing with HasuObs here. And it's actually interesting how many people have now played Leoric for the team, because initially it was always Chris on his Pepega account that was just forced into the offlane to play Leoric, and he usually went into his auto attack build with the Mithril Mace and his 13-16 adjustments. But now we're having HasuObs taking that position, and Sylvanas played by Chris therefore. Not going into the Unfurling Shadows on level 1, but focusing on the dagger on level 4 with the Unstable Poison. Lauba. Oh! Chris gets the kill! He basically escaped, and then Sylvanas comes in and connects the damage over time. That's all that they needed to do to finally drop Lauba, and therefore the kill against Malganis. Nicely done. Level 7 talents are ready for both of the teams, which gives us also the Ancestral Wrath for Thrall. That's definitely going to be helpful, but it's Calamity time. Oh yeah, and DAB is already sitting there licking his lips and saying, okay boys, I'm ready, let's go team fight! And let's see if they're gonna get one soon and if he can actually pull some damage off. Single altar on the map, and both of the teams are definitely interested in this one. We're having Leo and Thrall still doing their thing on the side lane, but the rest of the two teams are already busying themselves here down at the bottom of the map, trying to set themselves up for a good situation. Lauba gets caught by Mene for a moment. Nothing that's being forced here though. And the attack is starting to get ready. The channel is not there yet because the altar is just now spawning and the position is all of a sudden changing as Washed Up is pushing in aggressively, trying to isolate Lauba, using the Night Rush immediately, trying to get out. Nice attempt there by Mene to lock him down. Banana H with the channel completes it too. And that ties us up on the points on the core. 32 against 32 right now. Level 10 abilities still away for both of the teams. This is going to be a great final. Honestly, every single time that these two teams go up against each other, it's a pretty fantastic series. I wouldn't mind casting a best of 69 or something between the two teams there. Would last a couple of hours, but would definitely be worth it. So that would be kind of fun. And I don't think I would get tired of that anytime soon, because every time they face off against each other, it is close. It gets really spicy, and there's usually a lot of turnarounds too. So we'll see how it works out for them. With this, we're currently seeing at the bot lane still Arthur's pretty much on his lonesome. Swamp Grotta's just sitting there and gets also a little visit from ETC. But yeah, it's so far back to the towers that there's no real problem. There's others rotating in for him too, trying to just make sure that he's not getting caught anytime soon now. Lauba is just sitting there as well, now this time in the bush in the middle, trying to go for Nick here. DAB comes in with a combo, but hasn't connected yet. Level 10 abilities are very, very close, and they're trying to go for Mene, and they're going to get him! Yes! Mene down. Second time, actually, that Alarak gets eliminated here. Now he has 10 stacks on the negatively charged, but, well, he definitely got bodied a bit in those fights. Level 10 abilities are ready for both teams, which gives us the mosh pit over the stage dive for ETC. Doesn't really come as a big surprise. I mean, Leo has taken the silent blade duty, so nothing else that we would have expected there. The Carrion Swarm, deadly charge, by the way, for Alarak. Okay, someone wants to get into that backline. And Malfurion, are we going to see the Twilight Dream from him? Or what's going to happen there? Already sitting at the two altars. I mean, this time we're looking again at an even exchange. Left side, right side. Nobody really interrupting. Nobody doing anything about it. So it's absolutely cool for the two of them to just simply exchange a single altar. And yeah, everybody's just waiting for the next objective. And of course also for the potential attack in the pumpkin camp to the bottom left. But nice! Swamp Grotta gets attacked, and that's the end of Arthur's. Goodbye, sweet prince. As Arthur's gets eliminated and gets dropped here. Nice. And therefore the camp is open and Washed Up can claim it. 3 kills against 2. 11 stacks also for the negatively charged. And another attack here in the middle. HasuObs, yeah, gets out. I mean, this is always a bit of a danger. Hasu was actually, as you could see, just thinking about moving back in and trying to drop an entomb, but they decided against it because there was no damage dealer there. There was no one that could have gotten them the kill. So instead they saved the cooldown for a rainy day and see what they can do then. Maybe against Ty, for example, but he gets out too. Nick doesn't connect the stun. Moshpit would have been, of course, also great. Swamp Grotta dodging out on the route. Ty still dancing around here, trying to play it fast and loose on Lucio. But both of the teams really playing this very patiently. I like this. Aggression in the early game, quick double kill, and then slowly and steadily everybody working for a few more kills in, but no big fights just yet. But isolated kills are doing the trick too, and they're trying to go for it again. Howling Blast is missing. 9 stacks so far for Arthur. Here comes the Night Rush again. Lauba also with the ult has to move out from this one. Ty is trying to keep him alive and also to move him back here, and so far they're doing a great job with this. Keep in mind that the mosh pit hasn't been used yet either, so that's another one that we have to watch out for. Even against a single hero would be pretty solid. Now we're having still all the way up to the top. Fury is riding away here on his money pick, riding in style here. And they're trying to get the play against, well, once again, the front line. Lauba's getting attacked again. There's no cooldown to save his ass this time. Lucio has to be careful, but he's not the only one. Both of the supports are in trouble. Here comes the sound barrier as they're starting to chase them down. But even with Thrall committing to the Earthquake, they just can't lock them into a fight that they can win. Now all of a sudden, the army is out, but Swamp Grotta is again in trouble. Lauba comes in, Ico being used. Great use of the Nature's Cure. Banana Age at this point, just cleansing out that sleep pretty much. And then easily turning it around against Mal'Ganis, who dies shortly after. Well done here. Absolutely amazing. So, good job by them. 17 stacks by now for Mene. I mean, let's take a look at the damage output though. We have 21,000 damage from Sylvanas, so Chris is currently doing well here. 18,000 for Alarak. Now obviously Mene is going to try and stack this a bit more aggressively and then try and get some kills under his belt as well. I'm still seeing Thrall at the top lane. Also trying to interrupt the rotation right now to slow them down a little bit. But the entire wave at the top is actually going to get ignored here. Which means that in experience, we're having a slight lead for Granit Gaming. Nothing insane, nothing to force it. But that additional wave is definitely going to work out. Or at least worked a little bit for them, actually. As the experience is still very much the same. Let's look at it real quickly. Yep, they're slightly ahead in experience over here. But they are falling behind in the mercenaries. So that's definitely something that they have to take care of eventually, but when it comes to the minion experience, they're doing pretty well. It mainly comes from the camp that was taken on the right side by the blue team, so they got this one additional camp. Depends a little bit on what's going to happen over here now. HasuObs is extremely low. Triple altar again as we're now 11 minutes into the game, looking at the 5th wave, and they're trying to take the camp away. 14 versus 14. And here comes another attack as Swamp Grotta is moving in. Has to be cautious though. There's the Entomb and the immediate silence as they're trying to go for Arthur. The sound barrier keeps him alive long enough so that he can sacrifice the ghouls again. There's also Thrall with the incoming Earthquake trying to get a lock onto Mene in the backline. Nick with a slide through. So far, no mosh pit by him is holding the cooldown back as Mene jumps out, saves himself. They're still trying to turn it around here. Going for Lauba once again, and the damage over time thanks to Sylvanas is already in play. Thrall in trouble and Fury goes down. No Frostwolf Resilience saves him here. DAB gets attacked again by Mene, and now we're having 22 stacks for Alarak on the negatively charged. So far, so good, and there's already one channel. Mene successfully takes the bottom up to the top. I think this one will end up in the hands of Granit Gaming, as they're already taking position with pretty much the entire squad here. The top left, on the other hand, Nick might get interrupted, but I highly doubt that Granit in the long run is really going to be willing to fight here. It's not really a good position for the red team to fight on the blue team's top left altar. So in this case, Ty gets actually attacked. Entomb is ready, but they're not making the play there. So as the altar is channeled, we're having 20 versus 20 now on the board. Insanely close. I mean, this is exactly how you want the grand final to start. It's an insanely close game. 4 kills against 3, level 15 for both sides. Identical numbers on the core. I would say Alarak can definitely play a huge role here later on if he's able to get additional stacks through. But when we talk about quest rewards, then I think we should also highlight that Arthas has neither completed his level 1 nor his level 4. And both of those will play a big role if he is able to complete them in a reasonable time frame for those team fights. And, well, 16 is obviously going to be another big game changer here. And we have that 16 talent for Washed Up. A lot faster than for Granit, and they might be able to push the bot lane a little bit and maybe even get that bell tower. They get the lockdown against Lauba. Carrion Swarm is being used. He's trying to buy some time and moves out again, but that was a cooldown for a cooldown. That was not really an advantageous trade for Mal'Ganis. 25 stacks now also for Mene on the level 4, so that's another one. With the 16 talents, we're now also seeing the Royal Focus, and it's starting to become a big 5 versus 5 here. The Evasive Fire for Chris. In addition to that, the Lightning Barrage, and still no 16 for Granit. About to get the talent, but still an attempt to go for a kill here by Washed Up. 16 is in, gives us the Alpha Wolf, despite the fact that we don't see the Frost Wolf pack on level 4, so no synergy, but still a better mana management, thanks to the Chain Lightning focus there. Also, Remorseless Winter has now been claimed too. And things start to become a little bit more spicy. Double altar on the map. Are they just going to go for an even exchange? Right now it seems like they're going to try and go for Lauber again. The sound barrier's already been used, and there they make the play for Nick. Nick in trouble, and Nick is down. ETC is dead, and they are making the play for Malfury, and that setup for DAB was insane. Yeah, if you paint a target like that on any hero, a player of the caliber of DAB will just move in and say, thank you very, very much, I'll take this. And Hasu nearly escaping, but once again, DAB just zipping around the battlefield, getting value. 1 channel, 2 channel, and now a double barrage coming in. 4 shots fired, another 4 coming in as we speak. And that puts the core down to 12 points right now. 12 points for them. And still the lead in experience now for Granit Gaming. Yeah, Granit has taken over. Granit has definitely taken over. The lead in XP, the lead on the core, and the lead in kills. And now they are trying to also get a structural advantage over their opponent by pushing pretty much every single lane out and attempting to apply pressure to the bell tower. Aggression against Chris, but he survives again. We're seeing Mal'Ganis moving out. Keep in mind, 20 might change everything with the Buried Alive. Chris is low. Chris is low, and Chris is alive. No! Lauber, I can't believe it. He just can't get the kill. Chris is alive and Lauber is down so many times. It was just a single auto attack that was missing to drop Sylvanas, but now they're trying to chase down Svampgrotta. The damage over time is there. They're trying to make the play. Is there another slide? Oh my god, he's getting completely 1v5. And he goes down. They try and make the play for the boss here, but what a setup once again. Nice. Washed up, coming back into this. And this is exactly the series that we wanted. A worthy first game for a grand final, as the boss is claimed all the way up at the top. The 5 versus 3 making it possible. Another 4 shots fired, and boom! The core down to 16 points. And double altar spawning on the map next, as we have everyone starting to move down to the bottom of the map in order to anticipate the double altar. But Arthur's isn't here yet. Arthur's isn't here. It's always these arrogant princes that are never really there in time. They always think they're special, and Arthur's apparently is no exception there. It makes everyone else wait for him. Talking about waiting, Mal'Ganis and Hasu are trying to fight the little battle over there in the middle, but down at the bottom of the map, it's all just a stall game to make sure that Arthurs can come back. Mene with a channel, rest of the fight is happening there, and they are trying to go for a trade. And they do. 1 versus 1. Shots fired on the left, shots fired on the right, both sides, and that puts us in single digits for... Oh, washed up, and they lose Leo too. Leo down. Svampgrotta with the army, and they're pushing it forward. They try to go for ETC. Nick is low. The earthquake slows him down, and he slides away. Mene is by now sitting on... Oh my god, Mene with a deadly charge, nearly getting the kill against Lauber. 39 stacks for him by now. And look at his sadism. 135 sadism for Mene. The damage output from his part on 46,000. Can't quite keep up with Chris here, who's already sitting at 61k. We're having Liming on 52,000. But Mene is definitely starting to have a huge impact in this later stage of the game. With this much sadism, and also with all the stacks that he has with a 42 now and a negatively charged, he's starting to become a huge factor in these team fights, and a huge threat, of course. But they are still behind. It's 12 against 8 points on the core, and that means that if you just get a bit of momentum and maybe a double altar, you take game 1. At least if you're Granit Gaming. Now they have another attempted kill against Leo, and honestly, this time they're going to get him again. Hasu is down, and the mid lane might be attacked as well, but they're going to go for a bit of a trade. At the bottom of the map, we're already having the bell tower about to be taken down. Obviously, there is no defense that you can muster at this point. You have just to go for the mid lane trade, and that's exactly what they do. 4 versus 4 again, but they try to flank in. Leo isn't there yet. They're making the play right now. They're trying to go for ETC, and Nick slides away. His main tank skills have really, really amazed me. It's honestly fascinating to see how good he is in that main tank role, considering that he played a completely different role and style for his former team method. So that's definitely something. 20 is now on the board, 4 washed up. It will be ready for the opponent in just another second. And with this, we're now having the Bolt of the Storm pull on 2 heroes. And that's currently 4 shots fired against 4 shots fired, which puts us to 4 points against 8. Granit Gaming is so close right now. Again, the slide down here, though, against Svamgrotas. They're trying to make the play. Mene coming in too from behind, trying to see if he can close enough to the fight, have an impact there. Buried Alive already being used. Arthur's moving out from it. That didn't get a lot of value. And they're trying to turn it around now. Mene with a play against Lauber, but Hasu falls again. Yeah, Hasu activating that trade value quite a bit in this game. 4 deaths already on the Auric. And they are taking that bell tower at the bottom. Now Granit Gaming has taken a big lead here. They have the upper hand, but can they get the kill? Can Lauber survive? That's the first question. He uses the Carrion Swarm as they're trying to chase here, but he needs to be careful. He can't go that deep. Lauber gets attacked, and they actually keep him alive, and Sylvanas is down. Can they get Mene as well? Oh, they can't. But they have the kill against Sylvanas, and now the question is how much more can they get? There's no boss on the map, or they would have already gone for it. And maybe even taking the game right here. Mene has now 48 stacks. So this is looking really, really solid when it comes to the stacking process. But that just doesn't do jack shit for you if you are starting to lose the game here because you're behind on the objective. There's a single altar that's going to spawn in 25 seconds. Bell tower here in the middle is going to be reclaimed. The question is what happens at the bot lane. Well, we don't have Sylvanas. There's a lot of the damage missing, and they're trying to go for the bell tower, and that's an important one right here. Mid lane bell tower gets reconverted. They're trying to make the play for Lauber. It's a 4. Keep in mind, it's a 4 versus 5 right now. But they get the kill against Lauber. Hasu might have fallen 4 times, but he gets the Buried Alive, and it really matters. And now they try to go for Arthurs as well. Ty with the channel. They need to interrupt him. They need to interrupt him, and they pull it off. The interrupt is there. It's a 4 versus 4 still. Sylvanas is back, but she's not here yet. Banana H goes down. Malfurion is dead. The mosh pit. Mene with the damage, and they get the kill against Thrall. Ty is still in play. He's trying to get out, and in comes Chris, attempting to get the damage through. Ty is on the run, trying to use the bell tower here. The channel in the meantime. HasuObs gets interrupted. 4 points against 8. Ty trying to get back up at the top. Svamgrotta is still sitting there. Are they going to let this one slide? It's 5 versus 3. Do they sacrifice the 3 points? And yes, they do. 3 points fired, and we are looking at 4 against 5. And the boss is back up, ladies and gentlemen. Boss back up on the map. And Mene has by now taken top damage in the game. 71,000 for him. The stacks definitely coming through. Their damage is there. They try to go for Arthurs again. Buried Alive, baby. And Ty with a save. Lulcio comes in and immediately goes for the sound barrier. They're trying to turn it around against them now. Trying to go for the kill against Mene. Mene is a bit low. 58 stacks for him. Chris needs to be careful. Tries to use the wave to get away here. Can't quite make it happens. Svamgrotta nearly down. Mene in trouble. Lauber going for it. Going for Chris. They're looking for the kill and they can't find the Calamity. Doesn't do enough and he jumps out again. Thrall back to business now too. 21 on both sides. 11 kills against 8. And it's an insane finish. An absolute crazy finish to this setup. Lucio with the sound barrier back up again, went into the Bossa Nova. We're having the anti-magic shells now too. And it's all about the boss. All about the next objective. Traps are already being set up. Lauber gets hit immediately. Locked down. They try to go for the kill. Lucio goes in and says lol and drops the Bossa Nova. But they still get the kill. The counter kill against Leo. The entire time. It's just one hit after another. Single altar on the bottom of the map. Lucio, can he speed down and maybe grab it? It's another 12 seconds. There's another attempt. They go for the support and they nearly drop him. Chris is also low. Mosh pit against 2. No interrupt. And Lucio is on the run. They need to slow them down. DAB, he only needs to slow them down and they can make it happen. Arthurs is down. It doesn't matter. Ty gets the channel. And that is game. GG and well played as Granit Gaming takes the 1-0 lead against Washed Up in the grand final of the HeroesHype Premier Series. Game number 2, everyone. Granit Gaming in the lead against Washed Up here at the HeroesHype Premier Series, the grand final. HasuObs this time on Rexa as we're going into Dragonshire. Mene on Tassadar, Nick on Diablo, Banana H on Tyrande, and Chris on Vala. On the right side of the map, Lauba on Tyrael. We're having Granit Gaming with Svamgarota on Abathur. DAB on Hanzo, Tai on Zeratul, and Fury on Rhaegar. Now, honestly, I believe that whatever happens here, we're not going to see Zeratul again. This is one of those things where a lot of teams allow Granit Gaming to get the Zeratul Abathur combo exactly once. And then never again. So yeah, that happens actually quite a bit, and I'm currently really interested to see if Tai can pull it off again. His Zeratul is absolutely a beast, and he was probably quite happy with a couple of the changes that came in the last patch. Zeratul generally with the wormhole got nerfed. No way! DAB survives. Wow. So yeah, Zeratul's wormhole got changed a little bit, and a lot of people perceive that as a nerf. Now, would I technically agree with that? Like, you have a bit more of a smaller window. Actually, you're a bit more vulnerable when you blink in before you can wormhole out. But there were also a few changes when it comes to the cooldown reduction for the Shadow Hunter, and that's something that Tai is going to be very happy about, because he played that build already before the patch, so this aspect of the build at least got buffed, and he is going to be super happy about this. He has actually played that similar style already during the Division S playoffs. I think it was even in the grand final. Not 100% certain. But he has just absolutely dominated with that hero. And with Abathur support, obviously, makes Zeratul just so much more aggressive, so much more dangerous than he could be. So a very cool setup here for them, especially with the extra shields that they also get from Tyrael, not only Abathur. With all of that said, let's still point out that we have next to the Rexa factor for Washed Up also a double support for them, Tyrande and Tassadar with Vala, so double T. Still the double shrines now for them too. There's obviously a body missing on the map for the team in red, since they can't use Abathur's clone yet, so that's a bit of an issue. Zeratul is currently trying to deal with the top lane. Has actually managed to get back that shrine, at least for the short period of time. In the meantime, Fury is also trying to get his AoE and the Lightning Shield in particular to put to some good use so that they can take the camp away. But there's again threading at the bottom of the map a Siege Giant camp, plus also the Vala setup, while the mid lane is being threatened by Tassadar, who's saying, hey, if you move away here, I'm gonna get the Dragon Knight. So there's insane pressure on multiple points on the map right now by Washed Up, and that's absolutely fantastic for them. They really try and exploit that Abathur factor as much as they can in the earlier game. They're setting a heavy aggression up at the bot lane thanks to Vala, and are already going straight in for the fountain, with Chris playing Vala again, this time actually with the arrow build. And besides that, we're seeing them also pressuring on the objective and trying to get a bit more pressure going on other parts of the map too. Now they have to deal with the camp first, so this is something that Granit Gaming could do to relieve some of the pressure on them, and that at least worked out. There's a bit of an aggression happening also in the middle of the map, where Banana H nearly goes down as DAB tries to go for the geometry, and not quite able to take Banana H down, but that was a huge threat. And Hanzo's already moving down to the bottom of the map here to try and retake that bottom shrine, and then maybe even get a Dragon Knight for his own team. Just barely getting out. Lauba also moving in now with Tyrael. We're having them with the Psionic Strength and the Adrenal Overlord for the attack speed. So Zeratul is going to be the focus here once more. Seeing at the same time Stack slowly coming in with the level 4 talent, the Puncturing Arrow for Vala, trying to build up on that damage and getting the additional arrow bounce as well. In the meantime, Svamgarota still sitting mid-side, bot lane again pressured. I mean, this is just the name of the game here. You're trying to set this double support up with Vala, and you just pressure through the lanes, whereas Abathur can't do anything just yet, because he's just so dependent on his copy. There's a couple of really good Abathur targets, but outside of Zeratul moving in and trying to get some damage through, they just can't do enough. And Zeratul is more or less hard stuck topside, since he's the one who has to deal with Rexa, who jumps out here the entire time. There's now the Seeker in the dark. We're winning level 7 talents on both. That gives us the Mule, since there's obviously a lot of aggression already coming through. And with the level 7 talents, we're now also seeing the Repeating Arrow coming in, plus the Psionic Protection for the extra range on Tassadar and the Malevolence again. Chris still making sure that those toxic nests are taken down, because obviously there's a lot of scouting going on from Abathur too. And they're already poking topside. A lot of pings are happening there. They're starting to push that out. Rexa has taken control of the lane again with Misha. And at the bottom of the map, the fight is going to be on in just a second. Starting... No! Nick pulling the target out of Tyrande. Stunned. Tyrande dead as Zeratul moved in. Mene nearly falling too. Barely getting the dimensional shift in. And topside, they're trying to pressure at least a little bit, as HasuObs is attempting to take the opportunity of nearly everyone being bot side to go straight for the wall, but can't make it happen. So the kill is in. And Granit Gaming took down Tyrande. Nicely done by them. They got this one. We're also seeing in the middle of the map, Ty again with the rotation back towards the top. Mene is still working on his level 1 quest, but he's nearly done with that too. And here comes the attack as Ty goes in, hits HasuObs pretty hard actually. I mean, it's half of the HP already gone, and with the help of Abathur, Ty should be fine here. Bottom, that's where the siege giants are taken from both teams now. And up, there we go. Nick is already sitting in position, waiting for any target that he can bump into a wall. DAB gets hit hard by this one. That's 4 stacks now for Vala. Tyrande, by the way, doesn't have a single stack yet. Banana H was close to getting one, and then Nick just simply used his overpower to move the target back there. So that didn't quite work out the way that they were hoping for. Could even be a kill against Tyrael, to be honest. And let's not forget, it all ended up with Tyrande falling instead. One more globe missing, and then Zeratul has his level 1 quest completed. That's going to be quite helpful. And then he's going to get that cooldown reduction, so we're going to get that any second. That's going to make the hero so much more mobile and dangerous. It is. Quest completed. Vala, by the way, in the meantime, with the Siege Giants attacking the bot lane, doing well there. And here comes the stun, and that's a double. And Rhaegar is down immediately. Little doggy didn't even have time to self-ancestral. Seeker in the dark on 7. Might of Nerazim on level 10. And that gives us now also the copy on Abathur finally. Ty is still playing around the top side, keeping HasuObs at bay. And they're actually pushing the bot lane even more aggressively. So Washed Up with the kill against the kill is still doing pretty well here. And trying to eliminate all of the value that the Mule can give the opponent. Dropping the wall and actually opening therefore also the fountain up, or at least to a little bit. Archon hasn't been used yet. And again, Mene has been now for the second time playing around the force wall, and this game is no exception, so he's going straight back into that. He's also about to complete his level 1 quest, and that is going to be great for him too. The damage output increase for him. Highly important. They're still making the play for Lauber. Lauber gets zoned out here, but the wall is eliminated, and that allows him to easily move through. Zeratul is already here. The copy is moving in. They went for it, and they're trying to get some damage out of it before it expires, but that was pretty much in vain. Didn't really get a lot out of that. But let's have a quick look at the damage output, just generally speaking. 18,000 for Abathur, the Slugger. 16,000 for Vala. Also, we have 15k for Hanzo, who's going to come in too. And there's the end of Misha. Misha down. Tacita still pushing through another wave down at the bottom of the map. But everybody else starting to focus their attention more so on the top lane, where Lauber is also in a bit of trouble. Gets again pushed back. Lauber gets out. Mene isn't there yet. Well, there come at least the boars, but that's a little bit too late. Lauber is still able to escape. There's another wall attempt to at least zone out Ty and DAB, and that worked. But they're making the rotation happen to go for the Dragonite, and honestly, at this point, they might be able to grab it, and they should be able to. Mene gets interrupted once, but there's no one that can go for any of these shrines. Zeratul is topside and was trying a little bit, but there's just no way. Not against the setup that Washed Up had top lane, especially with Diablo rotating in too. And now all of a sudden the Dragonite can get the quick punt there. That was already worth it. Gets the pressure in against the fountain, and with the rest of the team, they're starting to move in immediately to drop the mid fort. And that should be the first and second structure in the game that falls. So nicely done. They get this one. They're trying to get more. 13 stacks now also for Vala on the puncturing arrow on level 4. And with the level 13 talents, they have another advantage over their opponent. They could try and push. Ty in trouble, but not enough to really drop him. But obviously they are hoping to take down another fort, but at least the fountain. If you drop this one alone, it takes the sustain away from your opponent and it allows you to be so much more aggressive on the top lane. Well, you still have your own fountain up to move back and get mana and HP. Good setup against Svamgrotta and his copy. The Avatar copy already exploited and taken down. Arrow hitting hard though. Sanctification on the ground as well. But Chris is still alive and so is Diablo. Lauba on the other hand is really low. Dodges out on the stun on the other hand. Ooh, can he get a punt in? Yes, he's trying and he can't make it happen. Toxicness everywhere, a great wall, and the kill against Tyrael. Fantastic wall there by Tacita. The Donald would be proud. That one led immediately to the kill against Tyrael, so great play by him. Also, quest has of course been completed a long time ago. Helps him with the damage output, even before the level 16 talent and the Psionic Echo. Plus, we are going to see Vala with her own quest completed in just a moment. So, top side, that's where Zeratul is going to start and push the lane out again, but generally speaking, they're starting to fall behind experience. That can be a problem. Around 16 in particular. And generally, I mean, honestly, just looking at this, I feel like Tai has to pop off a little bit. Tai currently, I mean, normally when we have him on that hero, especially with the Abathur support, he's doing so much work here, and this time he's struggling a little bit more. He has 21,000 damage, which isn't bad by any means, but the last time that we've seen him in this patch, by the way, on Zeratul with an Abathur composition, the pressure on the backline was just absolutely immense, and it feels that right now he just doesn't have that impact yet. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want him to just YOLO in and try and get kills, expose himself too much and then get taken down there, but one of the things that they can definitely try and do is play a bit patient, look for opportunities, and when Tai sees one, he has to try and pull this off. His problem is really that he's hard stuck topside. He is the one that deals the entire time with HasuObs, and that allows him, or doesn't allow him, to go for any rotations towards the bot side and get damage in. Keep in mind when Tyrande died. Tyrande died and the entire fight turned against Washed Up when Zeratul rotated down to the bottom of the map. When he has that freedom to do that, they have kill opportunities. They can create them. But now they're falling farther and farther behind. And these double camps that we've seen set up at the bot lane again, they're just doing too much. And teams are getting just so good at setting that up. Getting that bruiser camp together with the siege giants. In this case, it doesn't quite as much as they were hoping for, because the rotation to the bot side happened. And they had to they had to face a 5 versus 4. But it allowed also more space for HasuObs at the top lane, because a rotation like this obviously comes at a price. And, well, Tai is now sitting there, gets the interrupt, jumps in, but there's also Chris to be accounted for. So as long as nobody goes topside or at the bottom of the map to take the shrine, they're going to get another Dragonite, and they do. And that Dragonite is made possible by the Zeratul rotation down to the bottom of the map, because he was forced into this. And it was at a 16 talent disadvantage, so Granit Gaming is just playing from behind the entire time. And that's a massive issue. There's so much transference now for them. They're still half a level away from level 16, so they still don't have that extra talent that they really want here. And now that we're breaking through the bot wall, there is a threat against the keep in the game. Washed Up is really hoping to open up the bot lane so that they can eventually make a play for the core itself. And right now there's a quick pun. The Dragon's Breath is being used just over and over again to burn these waves down. That in itself is already an issue. But keep in mind that Washed Up wants to commit to this. There's a mule on the other side, which pretty much means if you don't take the structure down, you are not going to get that thing destroyed. So they need to make that play. Nick is already anchoring the backside, and the mule is in play. The mule is in. They need to take this one down, and they know it too. But so far, they don't send anyone in there. Chris is still up at the front. Dragonite is coming in again. Has another 15 seconds. 1% only, though. And the keep goes down. The mule just not strong enough here. And, well, there we have it. Also, the Seething Hatred now taken, which is actually one of the new talents in the new patch. So a huge spell power boost, which especially with the arrow build is incredibly powerful and should now allow Chris to get even more work done with this build that he has here. He's already at 32,000 damage. He's trying to get more. A massive arrow, though. What a setup. And Chris is dead. Chris is down. Not even the Apocalypse could zone the opponent out to save his ass. So now we're all of a sudden seeing Lauba coming in again, trying to see if he can maybe get a second kill. Needs to be careful against Nick, though. Has force walls everywhere, and if Nick gets a good wall stun through against the force wall or anything else, then that would definitely be an opportunity for him to to get value out of domination and then get the double kill there. So now 2 kills against 2, but the keep at the bot side is down. They're going for the camp. They have to wait for Vala. Rain of Vengeance for Chris. So far, it helped him against Zeratul on the copy to use that. Top side, that's nice pressure that we're now having. So Granit Gaming definitely attempting to fight back here. But they're still a level behind. They're still 1 level behind, but now they have also the envenomed spikes for the additional slows. Now keep in mind that oftentimes we're actually seeing the shield taken on 16, not so in the last few games that we've seen on that setup. Master Warblade attack now too. We have the mending strikes here. We have actually a lot of cool tools against Fatai to get those kills, and especially against Mene, any squishy. Turanda Mene, if he gets onto Vala, that's of course another kill opportunity. That's one of the reasons why we're having Rain of Vengeance over Strafe in this game here for Chris, because the stun is just so worth it for him. Especially since not only Zeratul that he has to deal with, we have also Tyrael jumping into the backline, so it's always a nice tool to have to get another lockdown, so you can put a little bit of distance between you and your aggressor. 40,000 damage for Abathur. 32,000 for Vala, but the damage is there. It's not a kill-heavy game, but it's definitely a game where rotations matter a lot and where strategy is everything. 18 versus 19, that's the levels. There's a pressure play at the bottom of the map that's going to take down the fountain first of all, but this is going to threaten the core very, very soon. Yeah, that core is going to be under attack, and there's minions already spawning both sides. Someone has to deal with that. Up to Abathur is trying to do it with the Toxic Nest. The question is if he can actually pull it off. He's at least getting one of the Siege Giants dropped, trying to work on the second, and Tai is moving in to finish the job here. The problem is the level 20 talent. HeroesHype is playing this safe right now. They are playing this super safe at this point, and they're just waiting for the Storm talent. They're trying to get another Dragon Knight, and with the keep down at the bottom of the map, one more DK would more or less mean game if HeroesHype doesn't mess it up massively. So right now, top side is still getting pushed. Hasu actually playing it also safe, staying away since he doesn't have vision. At the bottom of the map, they're still sniffing out Lauber, but now that the Owl is coming through, they see a bit more. Tai and his boys are trying to get the camp right now, so that's already good. They still have to close quite the distance in experience, but level 20 talents are there. Farflight Quiver, immediately. Force Barrier 2. Kill command, and all of a sudden we're talking party time. I mean, at this point you can really start to force them. That's exactly what they're trying to do here against Lauber. They're already moving in. The kill command connects. Nature's Cure being used immediately. They know about that aggression. Swamp Grotta is taking to the battlefield right now, and Tai gets the Dragon Knight. They were retaking the bottom shrine, and it was down to the millisecond. But the Dragon Knight is taken, and that is gold for Granit Gaming. This is perfect. This just denied the Dragon Knight to HeroesHype. As silly as it may sound, this gave them the time to get 20. This is all that this did. Obviously, they're hoping to take more. They are hoping to take now a fort. But if they just get level 20 by Zeratul sneaking in the Dragon Knight, it would be totally worth it. And yeah, they are super happy about this. Fight at the bottom of the map, though. Fury is in trouble. And Fury is down. That was a bad doggy. Bad doggy. And Lauber just gets insta-lockdown again. Nicely done by Mene. Just walls everywhere. One wall after another. Yeah, this is a fantastic talent. Force barrier. And another one! Force barrier stunned by Nick. And 3 heroes are down, and now they go for the core. And Tai is the only survivor together with Abathur. Nothing that they can do here. Force barriers everywhere once again. And, well, that core is in trouble. The shield is down. Tai is dead. This is it. Mene on Nick, the tandem. Insane place by them. Force barriers into double stuns, and now the game is over. We are headed into game number 3, the final map in the best of 3 series, the grand final of the HeroesHype Premier Series. Game number 3, the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. Washed Up against Granit Gaming. One of the two teams is going to crown themselves the champion of the HeroesHype Premier Series here today. And let's find out who it is. We're in Battlefield of Eternity. We have on the left side Nick on Muradin, Banana H on Tyrande, Mene on Hanzo, HasuObs on Reyna, and Chris on Arthurs. This time on the side lane. Well, Granit Gaming, playing with Lauba again on Mal'Ganis. He really likes that hero these days. DAB on Jaina, Svamkarota on Thrall, Tai on Anduin, actually, and Fury is playing ETC. So another one of these triple melee compositions that they've been playing a lot. But despite the fact that they play with a triple melee, they actually didn't go into Crash Lightning, but instead are playing with the Echo of Elements here now for Svamkarota. Alright, HasuObs also with Arthurs in the pack, not going for Exterminator here, which we have seen occasionally on this map, but instead going for the ace in the hole. They have a lot of slows there, and they're going to use exactly that. And here comes the action, boys. Already on level 1, by the way, the bold strategy. And here comes the poke. Mene on Hanzo jumping out. Lauba moving in immediately. The problem is that there's no one really to follow up on that. Tai currently with Anduin, so we're having the alliance back in full force here with him, the Nick Carter of Heroes of the Storm, part of the Backstreet Boys for all of the younger ones amongst you. And if you don't know what the Backstreet Boys are, then I can't really help you. Think Take That if that really helps you, like those days, NSYNC and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I tried, but if that doesn't ring a bell, then I'm sorry, then we have to go back into K-pop territory, I think. Either way, for now we are also one stack on the baseline for Muradin, who went in the perfect storm on level 1. Could be a little bit of sledgehammer value in this game. This is something that I'm definitely watching out for. What else do we have? We have our ETC versus Arthur's top lane at this point, and in comes the camp taken. So that was actually a quick one that they took. The Khaldor camp is oftentimes highly contested if nobody rotates a hero on the offlane. So there's a couple of scenarios that happen. Either you rotate a hero on the offlane and you try to take the camp then on the other side of the map. If you do that, your opponent usually reacts with a quick capture of the camp on the opposite side. But in this case, we didn't even have a fight over this one. They just got a freebie. And yep, there comes another Stormbolt for Nick, as he's going to try and set this up for the Tyrande follow-up. Stormbolt into Tyrande, Lunar Flare into damage from Hanzo and Jimmy. And let's not forget that we're also having the Howling Blast from Arthurs, which can definitely help as well. Top side, still ETC sitting tight, whereas the teams are starting rotations towards the Shaman camp to try and get the camp timed with the objective itself. Obviously, Thrall would love to get his quest completed on his level 1 before we're having the objective on the map. Now that's usually unlikely to happen, but he can definitely try. He has also now the Frostwolf pack on level 4. Anduin with enough fire. A little bit of a battle Anduin here. Yeah, so he has a bit of an basic attack range increase by 15%. I honestly would welcome if Blizzard would bring like a man up Anduin build into the game, a couple of talents where Anduin can actually man up, and for example, we could put one talent onto level 1, learn how to use sword. That would be my first talent I would give him. Thrall already down, just in time for the objective to spawn. We could also call it just like stick them with a pointy end or something like that, but just anything that all of a sudden puts Anduin more so in a melee mode where he actually starts to be a little bit of a battle paladin or whatever you call that, and then starts to get the value right there. Personally, I would welcome that. That would actually be really fun, but I'm not quite sure because, as it turns out, for some reason we can't have the fun things. But again, level 6 and level 5 are on the board, and both of the teams with a quick rush into the halftime show. Nearly an even split there, but still a bit advantageous for Washed Up as we're heading into the first one. And at this point, it's all about trying to isolate them and try and get a bit of a fight there. Divide and conquer seems to be the strategy of Granit Gaming. They're trying to isolate them and get the kills, but as it turns out, they are the ones who are getting wrecked here. Tai was trying to make the play with the trade and saving ETC. Didn't quite work out, so Mene's already attempting to chase him down. Anduin does what he does best, the French defense, aka he's running away. But it seems like he's not running fast enough. Needs to take a little bit of a lesson of the baguettes there. You know, so he's down, and that's a double kill that we're now all of a sudden seeing. With this, we're having HasuObs still busying himself on that Immortal, just poking away slowly and steadily. And that's the good old German efficiency right there. The Germans, they're going for the Immortal because they know this kill is not gonna do them a lot of good. Instead, they take the objective so that they can push the top lane. And that's exactly where the Immortal is headed. Top side. Going for the top lane here, and they have 3 kills against 0. Plus they have also level 7 a little bit quicker. Let's see if they can actually pull something off there. HasuObs is sitting tight there in the back. And that Immortal could even lead to them taking down the fort if they're lucky. Now, Nick is the entire time just jumping around like a bunny. It's honestly pretty awesome. He's just jumping in right there, trying to hit the Storm Bolt. Tirana is always attempting to follow it up. But she's actually the target right now, and she is getting locked down from every single angle. First put to sleep by Mal'Ganis, then ETC comes in, bullies her around, and at the end of the day, the War Chief himself, Mr. Green Jesus, is going straight in with another Wolf, connects that too, sitting at 5 stacks right now, and they get the kill. And that saves the fort. That actually saves the fort right there. So, job well done. And Thrall has to be a bit careful now, of course. This is always the moment. Every single time that you're sitting at 5 stacks, for example, you're just sitting there saying like, nah. That's the moment when you fat finger your W and you throw the wolf out and you all of a sudden are on 0 stacks again. Has it happened to anyone else? I mean, that's one of these things where you just sit there and it's like, oh my god, please no. So you try and go for the Q, you fat finger it hard, and all of a sudden your stacks are reset. Not something that is happening to Svamgrota here. And he actually goes for a risky one too. And, and completes the quest just before he gets taken out. So at least that worked, but the problem for them is still that they are now behind by 3 kills, and they are also behind in experience. So they have to really try and turn this around now. Yeah, with level 7 talents, definitely a lot of power now in their hands too. I mean, especially since we also have the Ice Lands here. We have in addition to that the Frost Shards, you have the Pierce, you have the cooldown reduction, you're sitting in a good spot there. The problem is still that they are starting to have a little bit of trouble of setting this up. Now, I would assume that we are going to see a Ring of Frost set up for Jaina here, since Mal'Ganis can just put everyone to sleep and just provide an insane setup for Jaina and her damage. And then if we're gonna see a mosh pit on top of that too, there's a lot of potential with wombos there that we actually get. So this is something that I'm really looking forward to. The level 10 abilities are slightly quicker for Washed Up. That might actually give them the lead here. 6-7 minutes roughly. That's where the quest is completed for Thrall. Is a bit late on this one. But again, on Battlefield you would expect it to be slightly later than usual. But he has now the chance to get the halftime show for free. But the level 10s are nearly taken. Not quite there. Arthas is sitting at the side. They find him. Can they take him down? 10 isn't ready yet. They need to be a bit careful. 10 is ready on the other side. And is it going to be the ring? There's already Thrall with the Earthquake. Water Elemental. Stage Dive. And the Light Bomb. Oh! Dark Conversion for Lauber. Alright. Already going full sleep mode here. And that is going to be an interesting one. Also, the Light Bomb is actually not quite what I expected. Again, okay, with ETC I would assume that it actually works out if they use it, yeah. But not really what I was expecting, considering that we don't have a Genji, a Tyrael, or something that can really jump into those backlines that effectively. But with a good power slide, they can definitely still make that play. Did get Sledgehammer, by the way. If you paid attention, and you've already seen the Thunderburn here. So we're going to have the healing static, very likely as the level 13 talent, and not the Bronze Beard Rage here. So ETC is trying to get the extra value from the global that he now has on level 10 and splits the off lane, trying to get a bit of a lead. Quick poke on both sides, but obviously Granit is slightly behind right now. And Washed Up has a bit of a lead at this point. Well, there comes our little setup against Lauber. Lauber himself has to be also careful. He's nearly able to take the Banshee down, but if he goes a bit too deep, then he's going to end up in the Immortal stun circle. Not really where you want to be. Not really want to be where you want to be in that situation. And talking about Lauber, Water Elemental is out. There comes the Stage Dive. Doesn't connect. They're trying to go for Muradin. And Nick, who is Is he actually surviving? No, he's not. Doesn't have 13, doesn't have healing static, and can't survive that. With that talent, he would have probably been able to move out, but as it turns out, he is not going to be able to walk away from this much damage. Okay, they're trying to make the play now for Arthur's, and Granit Gaming is looking strong there. Chris is down. That's the death on him. He dropped the army, but it was way too late. ETC is incredibly low, but it doesn't matter. It's 2 kills that they have now, 4 kills against 3. And they're trying to make a bit of a play, but they just don't have the hit points to really capitalize on the double kill. Instead, we're having HasuObs sneaking in, the German efficiency coming through again. Sees an opening and goes straight in and drops a couple of shots. Another Stormbolt, another Tyrannus stun. And Lauber is low. Incredibly low, and Mene is still bullying him around with even more shots fired, and now they're pushing them back despite the fact that they are the ones who just lost 2 heroes in the last fight. Washed Up is going for it. They're going for that Immortal and they're slowly taking it down. I mean, it's going to take some time for them, but still, we're having the halftime show finally taken here, and they are still poking around the bottom of the map. Banana H is trying to get some vision. Hasu is topside now and is trying to push the wave out, and Hanzo is already on his way to drop another scanner shot. Now, keep in mind, he didn't actually go into the scatter build. He went straight into the Stormbow build here with the target practice into the explosive arrows. Still doing a lot of work. There's a slight lead now for Granit Gaming. That off-lane ETC definitely pays off with the stage dive now. But once again, we're having Nick just waiting for another Stormbolt, and Nick has so far been doing absolutely well. His Stormbolts were on point. He's been able to provide fantastic setups for Tyrande, and now they're going for Chris again, trying to set her down. Chris being attacked here. Army already popped. Stage dive into the back line. Lauber is going for the attack. Light Bomb is in too. Gets some damage through. And again, Granit Gaming on the back foot. The arrow hitting hard. And there's Thrall with the Earthquake as they're trying to go for Chris again. Chris is low. He's not the only one here. Fury is on half HP. Nick had to tap at the fountain again. And Chris is down. Yeah, Chris taken apart here. And the Stormbolt actually this time missing. That was not really the best start into that fight for Washed Up. Now Granit Gaming has a bit of momentum and they have a level 13 talent, which makes matters even worse for the blue team. In comes Lauber. Already a little bit of a resident sleeper moment here for Nick as he gets hit by a Red Rush. Level 13 is still not there. That would give the healing static over to Muradin and definitely give him a chance. But just look at the setup that we're having. The problem is always the same. Granit Gaming gets a kill and then they can't do anything. They get the kill and now they finally move over to the Immortal, but in the meantime Washed Up has with 5 man back on the map and they're making the play for the Immortal now themselves. But it feels like maybe now Granit is getting some value. They're actually rushing this down quite hard. It could still be a win for, oh my god, for Washed Up, and it is. They still win the objective. Second one for them, this time going down to the bottom of the map. Muradin, oh my god, he misses the Stormbolt here just as Mal'Ganis is trying to get away. If he connects this one, that's a dead Mal'Ganis and that's a dead frontliner. Immortal is now at the bottom of the map and the rest of the team is starting to rotate down. There's the healing static for Muradin. That's definitely gonna help Nick a lot. Another stack for Arthur's level 1. They're trying to go in right now through the bottom, attempting to drop the first fort here. And already pushing this back, but there's a lot of burst damage from Granit, especially around Jaina, of course, and they are saving another one. Or are they? Oh, close call, but yeah, they do. Okay, so the forts are still both in play. 13 against 14, that's the talents, or at least the levels right now. Arrow misses. Here comes the Earthquake again. ETC comes through and this time connects with Nick, and Muradin is unimpressed and just jumps out. Candy King Muradin. And, oh, well, once again, with the 5 versus 5 down at the bottom of the map, they're going straight for the Khaldor camp. Nobody trying to interfere with that. HasuObs also sitting tight. DAB a bit in the corner, but that doesn't matter too much. Chris is occupying 3. And, well, Chris was a little bit low there. Nice save here from Tai. He's actually keeping everybody together. The problem is that Lauber still falls. goes down at the front, and now they're trying to go for Chris. The problem is that Arthur's literally just walking them into the ground. Another Stormbolt against Thrall, and Arthur's is going, or ETC is going to die any moment. Arthur's was moving in together with Rhonda, and they got the double kill now, so they can take the camp away too. But that's 6 kills against 4, and now they're all of a sudden ahead again. Washed up, they can go for the fort at the bot lane. They're gaining some momentum here, and Arthur's is nearly done with his level 4 quest. He also has completed the level 1. The fort is down, the lead for Washed Up, and they are starting to look a little bit better here. The series is tied. This is the 3rd map. This is the final map. One of the 2 teams is going to take the number 1 spot here today, and we are going to find out who that is soon enough. 27,000 damage for Thrall, 25,000 for Jaina. We're having Hanzo on 45k, and the camps are taken. Immortals are spawning again, and as it happens, this is going to be an early level 16 for Washed Up, and that's a pretty important and impactful talent here. So a dicey situation for the team in red. It's going to be a little bit tricky for them, honestly. How do you fight against level 16? If they can force a fight right now and maybe get a quick kill, it would be a different story. There's no 16 just yet, but it's going to drop any moment. And Muradin also has nearly his quest on level 1, the baseline completed, which would mean cooldown reduction on auto attacks plus Pierce. That's not really something that you usually want to have. The big power spike just as it happens, and there it is. 15 minutes in, 16 talents are there too, and now it's time to shine. That's the moment where Washed Up has a huge amount of advantages. Stone Form is in, Remorseless Winter is in, and now they can push the agenda. But they're not really making a snap call here. Granit Gaming is so close with level 16 that they're actually just going to let this slide. They're not rushing into anything head first. Instead, they're waiting it out, just saying, okay guys, we have to fight on even talents anyways. Let's not risk anything. Stormbolt, oh, the save! Anduin again with a quick play just as the stun combo is about to hit. They're trying to make the play now with Arthur's, and once again, oh, the conversion is through. Nice, good value from Lauba on the ult that he chose here. But he's still in trouble, he still gets stunned out, and he is still dead. Yeah, he is eliminated once more, and they're trying to go for Jaina, and she's down, yeah. Ice Block is a talent that can be absolutely fantastic when you're dodging out on stuns and other stuff, but oftentimes when you find yourself surrounded by opponents, the only thing that it does is delay your death by a few seconds. And that's exactly what just happened. So now Washed Up has another opportunity of getting an Immortal. And since they already won the halftime show pretty handily, I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to take this one easy peasy. There's a desperate attempt on the right side to take at least a few hit points off the board, but that is not going to do too much. This is going to be the big one, and Washed Up is starting to look better and better and better in this 3rd game. They have an insane lineup here, obviously. Granit Gaming with a fantastic sub player today since DAB moved in for Henning. And I still gotta say that despite the fact that support is not really a role that Ty usually plays for his team, he is doing exceptionally well with the heroes that he played today. But obviously right now Washed Up is the team that pushes the buttons here, and I mean literally and figuratively, because they are definitely starting to take the initiative here. There's an attempt to force the fight, and they're trying to go for Banana H immediately. Tyrande and Hanzo are the 2 that are in trouble. ETC comes in and zones the rest of the team out. That's actually not too bad of an idea. Mene still is jumping away and gets out, and now they go for Lauba again. Lauba gets attacked. HasuObs, he dies first. The Immortal, by the way, already closing in on the keep. And there could be another kill. Banana H is low and drops. Double kill for Granit. Yes, that's exactly what they have to do here. Make sure that they don't take that beating and fight back the entire time. Problematic is the attack against the keep itself, and that one is already on half HP. Can they burn it down quickly enough to actually save the keep? They shouldn't be able to pull that off, but they're going to try. And I don't think there's a chance. No, this ain't happening, is it? No. Nope. The keep is down. They got 2 kills at least, so that's something. But things are still pretty grim. They are closing in experience, though. So that's actually worth quite a bit, considering that the next stop is level 20. This is not something that we should just overlook here. 43,000 damage for Jaina, 65,000 for Mene. And Mene is literally the only hero in the entire game that hasn't died yet. The only one with 0 deaths. Camps now taken again all over the place. But with the keep and the 2 forts down, the passive experience is of course another huge problem from the perspective of Granit Gaming. I mean, just look at the difference here. That's 26,000 against 24,000, so 2,000 difference already in this one. Well, the fact that makes it up again, that's the minion experience. This is really the one that kind of evens it out once more. So that works for them. Fury is already sitting tight and is trying to move around. We're having at the same time at the bottom of the map the 3-man pushing the lane out. They can't lose another keep there. Nick is already sitting at the side, just waiting for someone to move in. And again, he sits on 29 stacks on his level 1 with a perfect storm, so a bit more damage on the burst. Most of the quest talents, all of the quest talents are completed, except for Tyrande, who's sitting on 17 stacks right now. But the survivability on Muradin in particular is obviously pretty fantastic, considering that he went Avatar, that he also went into the healing static synergy with a level 4, plus in addition to that, Stone Form. So he really pulled all the stops. There's like no more aggression. Nick is just saying, hey, I'm a stun machine, and I need to survive. That's pretty much all that I have to do. Every single bit of damage that I push in there as well is fantastic, but my first duty is to make sure that nobody goes through me here. So, for now, Nick is sitting at the bot lane here. Mene, a bit of fire. Top lane getting pushed out. And it's all about level 20. The Immortals are already on the board, but now it's all about the Storm Talents, and they could be in very, very soon for Washed Up. But they are taking a bit of a defensive position right now, and I mean for good reason. They have time. They got all the time in the world. There's an attack towards the top, and that's a smart move from Granit Gaming to get some damage done there. But that also opens up the Immortal for attack, and that's exactly where Granit Gaming needs to head now if they really want to defend this, because Washed Up is already doing their thing. And they're burning this down quickly too. Nick moving out, 20 again, it's close. ETC is still trying to get some experience for his team. And to be fair, they close the experience gap slowly but steadily. The only question is it quick enough? And I don't really think so. There's the attack, the save, nice, good trade again from Tai. Also the anti-magic shell now, we have the Ice Blade arrows, bullseye, Duskwing taken as well, halftime show already won. And guys, if that's 100% shield immortal, we might talk game. Granit Gaming, again, this is the grand final. This is map number 3. Granit needs to find some way to get back into this, to get level 20 and then start the fight around the Immortal. If they lose the objective, they have to again force the fight behind the Immortal and win it handily, or they are in danger of losing the entire game, and they know that too. That's why they're moving in right now with ETC stage dive. Already the army being popped by Arthur, so they're starting to move this away. Fury, yep, pushes them out, but now the Immortal is open again and the damage is there. They're trying to move in with Lauba. It doesn't quite work out that way. Stun nearly into the Immortal stun. ETC is great in these situations, but they can't quite make it work. So close on 20. Granit Gaming nearly has their Storm Talents as well. But we still have that continuous poke from the team in blue. And they nearly have won this Immortal. They're closing in. 75,000 damage, by the way, from Hanzo. 86,000 as well on the siege damage. So for now, another attack right there. Level 20 gives us now the Vanquish the Weak. And they're starting to push in now that they have the level 20 talents with Variant's Legacy over the Glyph of Faith. And in addition to that, Earthen Shields and the Wind Immune. And there's the arrow against 3, and again the Howling Blast. Lauba low was trying to go for the Dark Conversion but couldn't hit it. And now they're trying to go for Jaina, and DAB is alive. DAB is alive. They saved him. There's still damage against Lauba. He looks for the Dark Conversion and he hits it against Banana Age. But the Owl is also connecting with Fury, who is nearly low. DAB and Fury both are incredibly at risk of dying, so they have to move back, and that means that the Immortal is open again, and Thrall has already fallen. Muradin jumps in once more. He's looking for the opportunity, finds the Stormbolt, the stun is there, and Anduin is down. Anduin down, and that is the end of the Immortal, and that is nearly 100%. Well, make it 85. So we are going to see a fight down to the bottom of the map. And with 2 heroes down, the core already taking damage after the catapults moved in and sitting at 91%. The bottom keep is already getting attacked right now. ETC is dead as well. And, well, that is very much so the end of the game if Granit Gaming doesn't pull off a little miracle. And with Lauba now dying, it doesn't seem likely. They make the double stun happen against Jaina. There's the rewind value from Murder. She dodges one stun, but Jaina still falls, and that is the end. Granit Gaming taken down by Washed Up as the blue team takes the 2-1 victory here at the HeroesHype Premier Series at the grand final, and Washed Up crowns themselves the champion of this tournament. GG and well played as Washed Up takes the series.